We've made our way down to the Scottish Woodlands stand at the Royal Highland Show, and we've even got the luxury of a seat. And I'm joined by David. David, how's the show going for you?
Yeah, really good. Great to be here. Lovely weather for the opening day of the Highland Show this year. We're here in the Forestry Arena, which we sponsor. I think we're very proud to be involved in this arena. This is, I think, our 7th or 8th year sponsoring the event. We provide the climbing poles that are here for the competition, which is carried out. And nice to be here. Busy day.
Yeah. And what have you been doing? Have you been speaking to clients, speaking to farmers? What's generally been happening on the stand?
We've got a mixture of existing clients, existing farmers that we work for, and new people coming in to inquire about opportunities in forestry, and that can either be in new afforestation projects or in harvesting, for instance. There's a lot of clear up still to be done from Storm Arwen. So we've got a lot of people inquiring about that, how we can help them harvest timber.
Right, okay, I think that's really interesting, and that seems to be quite a major topic of discussion for farmers at the moment, clearing the timber from their land from Storm Arwen.
Yeah, it's been going on for almost 18 months now. It's a long-standing problem. Marketing timber is really difficult when there's that kind of glut of uncertified timber that comes to the market, so that slows the process down of being able to transport that. But we're working through it. We're working through it with existing clients, and we're finding more people coming to us saying, "Look, we have problems. Can you help us?"
Yeah, and obviously, I guess one of the main things you mentioned about afforestation, and this is predominantly a farming show. There's a lot of farmers here. Agroforestry is probably a big topic of discussion. Convincing farmers, or certainly helping farmers in the process of putting trees on their land. How's that been going for you? Those kind of discussions today. How big a aspect of that is that of things?
Yeah, really good. I think there's always a consideration that there's a bit of tension between the forestry sector and the agricultural sector, and we don't see that at shows like this. We see people coming to us and saying, look, we see the benefit of woodland on our properties. We understand the benefits of shelter. That shelter gives better livestock survival rates, better lambing rates. It gives opportunities for streamlining assets and farms to perhaps help with stock handling. It takes out awkward parts of the farm that are maybe not as performing as well as the rest of the unit. So it can help to really make the whole farm a lot more efficient than it previously was. So we are seeing people kind of taking the blinkers off and coming to us and looking at those opportunities. Pretty much we are doing 40%. Last year, 40% of all the applications that were approved for planting in Scotland were approved by Scottish Woodlands. 70% of those were done for farmers.
Okay, well.
So, a huge amount of what we do is done for the farming fraternity, is done for the farming industry. And, I think that's a really positive story, and it's something that we're talking about very much at this show when people come onto the stand and trying to gently encourage them to consider it themselves.
How do you see things at the moment in forestry and in the kind of industry in general at the moment? How do you think they're placed?
Yeah, I think we've got things are positive. We've definitely got a mountain to climb. I think approvals, we need to look at how we speed up those approvals. This year, we've seen very much a case where there was surplus capacity within the contracting field, because of slow approvals on forestry grant schemes. So we've had people knocking on our door for work, which is good to a certain extent. But at a time when we've got a climate crisis, the industry is burning between 5 and 7 million trees in the nursery sector. So we need to find a better way to drive afforestation projects forward, and we need to work with the private sector, the public sector, all of these constituent parts, the communities. We need to work with them in a much more considered, much more close way to try and drive these aspects forward. We have a climate crisis. We have a target across the UK of 30,000 hectares per annum, and we're simply not achieving it. And if things continue the way that they are, we will not achieve it for some time to come. So we do need to draw breath, take time, consider how we look at that in the future, and then try and drive it forward as a multi-party approach to see what we can do.
Yeah, I think that's something we can all agree on. David, thank you very much for the time. It's been really interesting. Thanks for your time, and hope the rest of the show goes well for you.
Great, thanks very much.